Park Recreation Center. Donation is only $1 for adults. Sponsored by the Women's Civic Club of Panama City Beach, a non-profit organization supporting charitable causes in Panama City Beach and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour and the high of 68. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 55. Tomorrow, a high around 70 and some sun. Wednesday, very warm with a high of 70 and light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Lucid Stream TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200-plus entertainment and news networks, or watch 10,000 movies on demand, including recent theater releases. Just $42 a month when you use the promo code ESPNNW at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Lucid Stream TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Lucid Stream TV logo. Krispy Kreme Donuts invites you to bring the cinema home while you're binge watching your go-to Hulu shows and movies. Enjoy the first of its kind in the Hulu and Krispy Kreme collab. It's the new Candy Double Feature Donuts, the Cookie Dough Superstar Donut, the Caramel Popcorn Donut, and the Blue Raspberry Slush Donut. Only at Krispy Kreme Donuts, in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia during the President's Day sale going on all month long. Are you looking for a fuel-efficient SUV that doesn't compromise on style, comfort, and performance? Stop in today at Bill Bird Kia and let our team put you behind the wheel of your new Kia. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento with $1,748 per month per $1,000 finance in 60 months. Qualities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete detail. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/3/25.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
WGSX Lynn Haven, W Field Q Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution. Sports Talk Radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
Ready, first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey,
And good Monday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along that beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share. That's on our social channels. That is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're also on Twitter/X as well, but not streaming live there, as we have the 3 great local shows every day. The Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9, Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and of course the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. We appreciate you tuning in however you're doing it. If you're doing it on social, please hit that share button and do us a favor and just help get the word out about our great local shows here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. A lot of college basketball was played. NFL Combine got underway and done, and a lot of good stories coming out of that as well. As we do most Mondays, we'll be back on our regular schedule today. We'll have Chris Paul and actually County AD Josh Latch in studio with us at 11:20 to give us our boys middle school basketball update, as I know the playoffs are already underway. Already had one game so far in those playoffs, and of course I'll update everybody on the girls middle school soccer as well. We'll talk about a lot of the other sports, as baseball and softball is completely underway right now for Bay County and the surrounding areas. And if you tune into the Afternoon Underdogs, I believe it's on Wednesdays when
Banji, yeah.
Banji, he's just I love listening to that segment because he's got such good insight on all the local area teams, and I love the power rankings, all that stuff. So tune into the Afternoon Underdogs Wednesdays. I believe that's about 4:20 p.m. when he gets going with the local segment there.
Unless we bring up Jordan versus LeBron or any type of debate, then we kind of lose a little bit of time, but we carry over into 4:40. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. Debates are always good. That's what pretty much sports is all about. But give us a call today, 850-215-6290. I believe Jay Henley is on the lesson tee, trying to get some lessons in before that weather comes in. Looks like we're going to have some potential weather overnight. I don't know if he teaches lessons at 2 o'clock in the morning or not, but maybe he does.
You never know with Jay, right?
Maybe he does. So he's trying to get him in before that comes through. But yeah, we miss him, that's for sure. Hopefully he'll be back in studio with us tomorrow, giving us some great insight. I did want to pick his brain a little bit about some of the golf action this past weekend, and Jake Knapp getting roasted for a decision he made playing a shot from a particular location that ended up getting him a triple bogey and kind of taking him out of contention. But we can still talk about that a little bit later on. We did try our luck in Pylon 7-on-7 this past weekend over there at the sports park, and learned very quickly what Pylon 7-on-7 football is all about. It's basically these, I want to call them statewide organizations that we did some research on those 850 Kings.
Yeah.
And they're out of Tallahassee, but they have tryouts all over the states. So they're really picking players, the best 12U, 15U, high school, whatever it is, out of the entire state. So obviously we're just a bunch of local kids here that play some.
A very small sect of the local kids around here. There were some giants out there, that's for sure.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I guess, if you're hand-picking the best athletes in that age group, you're going to have anomalies when it comes to, some of these kids that just develop a lot quicker than other kids. And, it was a little comical in some aspects, but certainly proud of all the boys this past weekend and their hard work and determination, really going up against, teams that we really had no business playing. But we
caught them off guard right off the rip.
Yeah.
And then they kind of settled in a little bit and learned some lessons along the way. But
yeah, as did I.
The picture of number 11 versus what was
that was Easton. That was Easton.
Oh, it was.
Yep.
Regardless, that was absolutely wild.
Yep, absolutely. Literally double his size.
Because when you're seeing it in person, you're like, he's a lot bigger. When you see the picture of it, you're like, oh, man, he is a lot bigger. Could you imagine being Easton or Tag or Miles whenever you're guarding number 11?
Yep.
I can't.
Yep, no doubt, no doubt. Unless you're going to sweep the leg and try to take him out early, it's certainly going to be tough. But, he didn't have the greatest hands in the world either, though. I think he dropped 3 layup passes as well, which helped us, certainly, as well. But, again, proud of the kids for their resilience. And, like you said, basically our first offensive possession of the game, every one of our receivers got jammed at the line and basically got knocked over. So all the kids were like, oh, okay, this is a little different ball game. But certainly a lot of fun, a lot of action going on on over there at the sports park this past weekend. And I know Kingshammer Bay United hosted a soccer tournament. I don't know if it was Kingshammer or it was Bay United that did it, or if that's the same organization now. I'm not completely up to speed on the all the local soccer organizations as well. But it's a beautiful weekend out there, and certainly had a lot of fun. And yeah, we learned. I learned. Shoot, I made some huge mistakes right off the get-go when we had too many receivers going out.
Yeah, that was very confusing for us on the sideline for a while. Like the what do you call that? The pylon, the TP,
the TP. I like that. The TP.
I mean, it did look like a TP.
Yeah,
modern.
Yeah, if you would have put a little canvas over the top of it, certainly could have been a TP indeed. But yeah, that T counts as a receiver. So you're playing 5-on-6 when it comes to actually what you're looking at receivers to defense.
I did hear one of the refs say that you can have a snapper there. They just can't
go out for a route,
right?
Which is kind of silly. Just take it off the tee. Just take it off the tee. But I thought Liam did good with the adjusting to the 4-second play clock. He had many times he took longer than 4 seconds, but 4 seconds, and it wasn't 4 seconds. It was 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and once the last E in Mississippi went with 3, that was your pass clock. So really 3 full seconds, and that was it.
Yeah, you got to be quick out there.
Yep. And if you're getting jammed and knocked over at the line,
short routes.
Tough to get your routes down the field, that's for sure. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool way to play not tackle football, still having the aspects of some contact in there, which you face when you're playing tackle, when you're trying to get off the line and nobody's letting you get off the line and that kind of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how it progresses, and definitely learned a lot about that style of football. And like you said, in the high school level, there's some top recruits out there playing pylon football. I know you mentioned one of the kids' names was I guess you look him up right now. But.
Yeah, I can't remember the first name. The last name was Shelbert, and he had a whole bunch of lanyards from all top tier schools, Division I, a lot of SEC, Tennessee, Vanderbilt was on there. So I asked him his name. It was like Jacarion Shelbert. So I'm going to look that up on 24/7, see what we can find.
Yeah, there you go. And I guess, that's one of the things that you're seeing the pylon, or not just pylon, but the 7-on-7. There's multiple 7-on-7 organizations being used for recruiting, because you've got to be fast. You've got to be really fast, and the quarterback's got to make quick decisions, quick reads, so they can learn a lot about these players watching them play the 7-on-7 game, in addition, obviously, to high school tackle and all that. But, so we're just trying to we dipped our toes, and the water was a little chilly, and we may dip our toes again in the future, but we'll see. But again, kudos to Public Sports Park. Visit Panama City Beach for getting that place rocking and rolling. There was a lot of different stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I could not imagine being one of the staff there, especially on the golf carts, because it was one way this way, and you got to wrangle a whole bunch of people who are going into the turf fields for flag football or for pylon, and it was. Yeah, it was an ordeal, but it was a fun ordeal at that.
No doubt, fun ordeal. Although we were a little early yesterday morning, a little chilly, a little early yesterday morning, but certainly had some fun. All right, I'm gonna pivot over to the men's college basketball side of things. We had a lot of big time matchups on Saturday. We'll start with our Auburn Tigers that you can listen to right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. They're still number 1 in the nation. Unanimous added another Quad 1 win to their resume, making it now 16 Quad 1 wins on the season, which extends the record of most Quad 1s by a Division I program in a single season by another game. I didn't get a chance to see it. We were obviously playing pylon football when the game started, and by the time we got home, I guess there was an error with ABC. It got kicked off the network or something like that, so I couldn't actually see the very end of the game. A lot of people said that Kentucky pulled the plug to the feed because they were tired of letting everybody see it. But yeah, 94-78 there, Auburn beat Kentucky, and they really didn't need Janai Broome to have that victory. Miles Kelly, I believe, hit 9 3-pointers on a way to a 30-point game for that guard. He played absolutely fantastic. Number 2 team in the country with Cooper Flagg. He had 16 points and 6 rebounds against Florida State. Florida State never was really in that game. Final score of that one, 100-65. And then the I got my Get that off there. All right. Sorry. All right. And then we got number 3, Florida. Another dominating defensive performance there by the Florida Gators. Behind the 25 points and 6 rebounds by Will. I think it's Richard, or is it Reichert? I think
that was the Alabama kicker.
Yeah, Will Reichert. That's right. I'm going to go with Richard. Will Richard. They won that one 89-70 to continue their. They're now 12-4 in the SEC. Houston, the number 4 ranked team in the country, also got a victory over Cincinnati, 73-64. Houston was led by L.J. Cryer with 20 points. And then, if you guys had a chance to watch the Alabama-Tennessee game, it was a fantastic game. Back and forth. Alabama got down a little bit, but then came storming back right before the end of the first half. And then the second half was just a battle back and forth all the way through, and ended up being a buzzer beater there by Tennessee.
From way downtown as well.
Way downtown indeed. And, Mike Sears had a great game, 24 points. But Tennessee just was able to kind of hold Alabama down a little bit and have that last shot. And sometimes it goes in and sometimes it doesn't.
And that one, it sure enough went in, man. That was a tough one, but hey, it's the SEC this year, right?
No doubt. But let me get your thoughts on this, David. So if you're Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, one of these top SEC teams, going into the tournament, you're likely going to have that double bye going into the quarterfinals. You never want to lose, but losing might be more beneficial in the SEC tournament. If you ended up losing a game you shouldn't have, because you're going to get some rest and not have to go up against really good SEC teams on a route to potentially trying to win the SEC tournament.
I think the biggest thing for me would be that the only pro really of losing a game, or it doesn't hurt so bad to lose, is that there's not going to be big-time injuries that affect you. Outside of that, I think, I'm always a bigger fan of let's just keep playing. Let's keep playing, because that rust... rest
seems to be more prevalent.
It's more prevalent than rest is.
No doubt. But yes, the SEC tournament should be a fun one. I believe that's up there in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. And then St. John's, Rick Pitino continuing to do amazing things with another different school. St. John's beat Seton Hall 71-61. I believe they clinched that Big East title, the regular season Big East title with that victory. Iowa State, number 9, Iowa State took down Arizona 84-67. Texas Tech beat Kansas 78-73, and Texas Tech is the number 10 team in the country. Kansas currently unranked. Clemson, number 11 in the country, beat Virginia 71-58. Vandy upset Missouri, number 14th ranked Missouri. Vanderbilt's just been, basketball and football, just been finding lots of ways to upset teams, maybe that they shouldn't, but kudos to Vandy for another good victory this season, hanging in there with a good Missouri team.
And they're going to have a good baseball team as well, so the trifecta over there for the Commodores. Anchored down, baby.
Yep, no doubt. Maryland beat Penn State 68-64. The Louisville Cardinals, who are having a heck of a season there in the ACC, I believe they're 16-2 now in the ACC. They won 79-68. The Marquette Golden Eagles won 76-61 over Georgetown. St. Mary's beats Oregon State 74-64. So I guess Oregon State is in the WCC now in basketball specifically. Mississippi State won another game in the SEC. They're now 8-8 in the SEC. They beat LSU 81-69. And then the Cougars of BYU, rounding out your top 25 scores from Saturday, won that one 77-56 over the West Virginia Mountaineers. So that leaves your standings there in the SEC. We'll do SEC, ACC, and Big Ten. We'll start, let me get to the SEC first. Let's see, I believe Auburn has got at least a share of the SEC title, regular season title, as they do have a 3-game lead over the Florida Gators and the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are both 12-4. Auburn's only SEC loss is to those Florida Gators, so maybe we'll see a rematch there at some point in the SEC championship.
I'm wondering how many SEC matchups we're going to end up seeing along the way through the tournament if these guys are as legit as what we're thinking.
13 potential teams in the tournament. something like that.
That's insane, man. What's the record? Do you know?
I don't know, but I got to imagine it's pretty close to that because, they're saying the current SEC is probably one of the best college basketball conferences of all time with all the teams that are in there right now and how well they're playing. And, kudos to Greg Sankey and his kind of push to make basketball better many years ago in the SEC. It certainly seems to be paying off now.
The Big East got 11 in 2011.
Ooh. Well, I think that record potentially could be broken. We'll find out come Sunday this weekend
this Sunday,
coming up. Yep. After all the conference championships get finished up, the Selection Sunday will take place. Pretty hard to believe we are already.
Oh no, that would be next Sunday. Because this Saturday, Alabama plays Auburn.
That's it. It's the last regular season game, and then the conference tournament starts next week. My bad. Duke currently leading the ACC. Not clinched yet, though, as those Louisville Cardinals are only one game back, as well as the Clemson Tigers. But Duke's 17-1 in the ACC. Louisville and Clemson are both 16-2. Let's see who Duke has the rest of the way. Duke has Wake Forest coming up tonight. That is at home, and then they can travel at North Carolina on Saturday. That'll be at 5:30. Should be an easy task for both of those games. So it looks like if they can do what's expected, they'll have another regular season ACC championship there for the Duke Blue Devils. Just another banner to hang up there in Cameron Indoor Arena. All right, over there in the Big Ten Conference, let me find them. Michigan State currently 15-3 with a one-game lead over the Michigan Wolverines, who are 14-4 and one game back. Maryland Terrapins are 3 games back, as well as Wisconsin and Purdue. So Michigan State is in the driver's seat when it comes to the regular season title there for the Big Ten Conference. And then, of course, we already talked about the SEC and your current rankings right now in the coaches poll. Auburn is another unanimous number 1 with an overall record of 25-2, with their 2 losses being to number 2 ranked Duke and number 3 ranked Florida. Duke still hanging in there at number 2. Florida did drop a spot to number 3. Houston number 4. Tennessee moved up a spot over there with their win over Alabama to number 5. Alabama dropped a couple spots to number 6. St. John's up to number.
That's last week's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they'll be dropping the new one probably.
It usually happens on the show.
Yep, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. I just figured I saw Auburn at number 1 again. I was like, it might be right.
Because I'm curious to see where Bama's going to fall to after that. It's a tough loss to Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee was ranked above them, but, I mean, they got to fall some.
A little bit, probably not too much, I wouldn't think, but yeah, we'll see how that all shakes out. If it drops at noon, we'll update you shortly after that. I know we got to get Josh Latch on the phone for the next segment. Chris Fall will be in studio with us, getting ready to talk about some of the basketball updates. I know, like I said earlier, the first round of the playoffs has already been competed and played, so we're moving on to the second round, which is tomorrow. The semifinals will be on Thursday, or excuse me, the semifinals are tomorrow, and then the championship will be on Thursday, and we'll see if Jinx can make it 3 in a row for middle school basketball there. We'll talk a little bit about, too, as we get a little bit later on the show, talking about some of the local baseball, local softball action, as well as we had some big games kind of towards the end of last week. I know we weren't on the show Thursday or Friday, but some big games transpired, that is for sure. We appreciate you all tuning in. When we get back from this break, we're going to be joined by Chris Fall and Josh Latch, talking a little middle school basketball. Also want to ask Josh about the first ever beach volleyball game match that was competed recently, and we had a victory.
Maybe Friday night.
I think it was Friday night. And we were over there at Arnold yesterday afternoon over on the football practice field, and where they dug out that beach volleyball court, they were able to use some of that dirt to level out some areas where they just put in some new sod. So you guys are listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back next with Chris Fall and Josh Latch.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour and a high of 68. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 55. Tomorrow, a high around 70 and some sun. Wednesday, very warm with a high of 70 and light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bendian's Best Moves is a local moving company in Panama City, providing reliable services to the families and businesses in our community. Coveted for the long list of services they provide, experts at what they do, and they do it all from start to finish. The pros at Bendian's Best Moves have moved doctors, attorneys, pastors, schools, small businesses, the federal government, and they can move you too. For the best moving experience, it's Bendian's Best Moves. Call now, 850-583-0814.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Join the best of Bay winning Inside Drive with all your lines, props, and covers.
Winning.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Keeping an eye on the door for Chris Fall, but we do have our county AD, Josh Latch, on the line with us. Josh, how are you doing today?
Doing well, sir. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Always a pleasure to have you on, and always appreciate everything you're doing here for sports in Bay County. Since I've just got you on the line right now, how did the first ever beach volleyball high school match go? I believe it was this past Friday. A little historic.
Yeah, Friday afternoon, man. It was great. We had Bay come over and play Arnold. And it was a great atmosphere. It was everything that we thought it would be.
Awesome.
Girls being around and kind of watching practice and development. And it's a different sport, obviously, from court, right? So there's a learning experience. There's a learning measurement that everybody's trying to adjust to. But seeing the atmosphere, and it was right before the baseball game Friday night, so there were people kind of stopping by, kind of peeking, checking it out before they're headed on to the Arnold and Bay baseball game. That night as well. So great atmosphere. Arnold got the victory. Bay plays at their home courts tomorrow, I think versus Freeport, if I can't remember. So again, they're right back in action, and I think Mosley plays Bluntstown later this week. So there's a couple more events that we have going on this week if you want to go check it out. But man, overall, thrilling atmosphere, exciting, and those girls they played well.
Is it played just like college, where they have basically 5 matches that happen, and then if you win, basically it's a best out of 5 with those matches?
Yeah, so 5 pairs, right? So the beautiful thing about our courts is that we have 3 courts in that one pit, right? So nice. You get the first 3, pair 1, 2, and 3 go, and then pair 4 and 5, and we use that extra court for some of these other girls, these younger girls on the end of the rosters that don't really. It doesn't count for the match, but they're able to get some extra reps before the sun goes down and get in a kind of an exhibition game, so to speak. But yeah, so it's 5 pairs, and then the first team to have 3 pairs win is the victor of the match.
Very, very cool, and very awesome to see beach volleyball being played here in Bay County. I mean, it makes perfect sense. We've had some AVP events here at the beach. The national championship for the NCAA women's is just down the road in Gulf Shores, so it's only natural, it seems, to have beach volleyball being competed here in Panama City Beach. So
absolutely, we've hosted the NAIA national championships the last couple of years at our own beaches too. So
that's right.
A lot of excitement. Obviously, the other counties around us we're getting a taste of it. So us hopping right in, the mix of those, man, it's been a great thing for these girls.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and fun to see. So it's Arnold, Mosley, and Bay. Are those the three high schools that currently have volleyball on as part of their programs?
Yes, sir. So Arnold, Mosley, and Bay, and we actually have some Rutherford and some North Bay and some Bozeman students playing on those three teams, right? So with the new FHA rule, if your school does not offer that particular sport, you can play in county at another sport if you make that team, right? So there's obviously some paperwork and things to do, but you're essentially a non-traditional student. So I know we have some Bozeman students on both Bay and I think Mosley, and I think we have a couple Rutherford students as well participating.
That's very, very cool. And it seems like, you just got to, build the pit or dig the pit, fill it with sand, get it set up with your lines, get it set up with the net. So it's not like a huge extravagant process, in my opinion, to kind of get this going at the school. So it kind of makes sense why it was, I don't want to use the word easy because I'm sure it wasn't easy. But
yeah, no, I'm laughing because that's what I thought too. And then there's a lot more that went into it. But thankfully we have a great facilities department. St. Joe was generous enough to kind of help with some resources and help us get it going on the monetary end. And we built it to last. We'll just say that. We didn't just throw some sand on some grass and say play ball. We built it, 12 inches down into the earth. Had some drainage, had some heavy duty 6x6 poles put in there. So those things are not going anywhere. If we got a Cat 5 storm, knock on wood, they're still going to be there.
Very, very, very cool. Now, does that, I know obviously we have the beaches, but does that open up any opportunities to host like other tournaments from outside the area and stuff like that, on campus?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I know there's some big club teams here locally, and I've heard the buzz, Bayou Beach and a couple of those that obviously using our facilities, it's rentable to the community. So I've heard some chatter. Obviously, I think everything's so new, so it's just about how we figure out how to work some of those in. But absolutely, man, they're beautiful, nice pits, meant for obviously beach volleyball. But the football coaches and basketball coaches and baseball coaches, they're eyeing them too for the agility pits and some of those extracurricular stuff that you do and speed and agility training. So ultimately, it's a good resource for all the teams if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, very, very cool. Again, congrats on getting that over the hump and having the inaugural match transpire last Friday. Chris Falls now in studio with us, so let's pivot from high school beach volleyball to middle school boys basketball. I know the last time we talked, obviously, I was out last week, so we had to kind of pivot to this week. But we're in the playoffs now, and we had the last regular season game of what I believe was not last Thursday, but it was, 2 Thursdays ago. Last Tuesday, that's right. And then Thursday was the start of the playoffs. So why don't you guys give us an update on where everything stands in boys middle school basketball?
And this is Coach Latch with us, right?
Yes.
80 Latch. But hey, Coach, how are you?
Oh, what's up, sir? Hey, Coach still works, too. It's down in there somewhere.
You're always going to be Coach to me. But, hey, and before we get started, just super great job by Bay District Schools with expanding to 8 teams, expanding the season, using the 29.5 ball. I think that was Coach Latch and Josh Balkin. But, man, y'all, thank you so much for that, Josh. There's so much excitement about the expanded tournaments in all sports.
Absolutely. I know getting in here, and we've talked even before, I took over this job when I was at Arnold, things like the ball size and expanding seasons and adding teams and all that. I think we're on the right track. Obviously, there's always more room to grow, but the progress we've made in the year is ultimately for the betterment of the kids, I couldn't be more happy. So I appreciate that, Chris.
Yeah, and Coach, just a testament to that, right? Like the Mowat Jinx game was a pretty big deal last week in the regular season. I think I saw every high school coach there except for one, and I don't know if that happens without some of the changes y'all made. That was really cool.
Absolutely. I mean, it was there's a lot on the line too, right? So we had a three-way tie for 4th place and 8th place that kind of figured itself out, right? So I'm for the whole week I'm doing plan A, plan B, plan C all the way. I think I had 6 potential possibilities for 4th and collectively where we could have gone a couple different ways, right? So not as much as teams going in or out, but as to see teams going from really 3rd place to 7th place, which we saw with Rutherford, right? So a lot of cool
UA upset at home over Rutherford in overtime. That was an exciting moment for the school. That was for sure.
Heard there was a lot of court storm, and I heard there was a lot of excitement on that. I saw some videos, which again, that's why you want tournament basketball, and that's why you want to bring excitement to give them something to play for, right?
No doubt.
That was pretty cool.
No doubt. That was like 8 years in the making. It felt like.
Coach, I got a quick question. I had a couple middle school coaches reach out to me, and I will never speak that I work for BDS. So I said, I don't know. We'll get an answer. But what is the tiebreaker process for future years so we know? How did we – is it point differential? Is it points against, points allowed? What's the tiebreaker process?
So the tiebreaker is, and the reason it's been put into place is so that we don't get the, hey, I'm going to beat, Team B by 79 points just in case it comes down to a tiebreaker. So – it is what you look at first is road wins is how it's been broken down. So road wins is the first tiebreaker if it's not head to head, right? So in the case of last week, we had between 4th place and 8th place 3 teams that Team A beat Team B, Team B beat Team C, Team C beat Team A, and they all kind of beat each other. Well, then you'd look for road wins. And that's kind of how we've assessed it. We actually had the same thing going on right now in soccer. This is the last day for soccer regular season, and we have a 3-way tie that's gonna be happening. But again, you go to that first tiebreaker, and all the road wins are the same as well. So we're gonna have a hopefully it takes care of itself today, but there's a potential for some chaos for sure.
Can we do that Friday Night Lights clip where we do the coin flip to get in the playoffs? Or?
Listen, the commissioner of the Georgia High School Athletic Association just did one last Friday for a home court advantage, and it was I think the SEC commissioner just did one for girls basketball there.
Yeah, South Carolina won the toss on that one over Texas because they shared the title. So, they did do that.
So that happened at high school level and college level just this weekend. So that's why not throw some middle school stuff in there too?
Yeah, no doubt. Looks like you got Breakfast Point, Jinx, and Palm Bay at 6, 7, and 8, all 4 and 5 in the girls middle school soccer standings. So playoff. We got one more regular season game tomorrow, and then the playoffs will get underway on Thursday. But again, I still love what you guys have done by adding more teams and it not just being a single elimination bracket. Not that it's a double elimination bracket, it's just you get to play more games all the way through when you decide all the places 1 through 8. So more reps is always a good thing for all these young athletes, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it was just top 4. Top 4 got some get one and done. And my thing is more reps, more games, more excitement. Like I remember, and Ryan, like volleyball, we had 3 out of the 4 first rounds ended upsets for volleyball, and then we had a couple for boys soccer, and then we'll see. With basketball, I think we had 1, right? Didn't Rutherford upset? Well, again, between 3 and 6, Mowat and Rutherford all the way down, they're all pretty head to head. But traditionally,
from a seeding standpoint, it was indeed an upset. Number 3 or number 6 seed beating the number 3 seed.
And 5 Bayhaven got 4 Surfside, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And we had 2, right? So Surfside upset by Bayhaven, right? So again, just a testament to traditionally only one of those 4 teams would have gotten in, right?
Yeah, and that's awesome.
Everybody got a chance.
Yeah, no doubt. Makes the playoffs a lot more exciting. Well, fast forwarding to these semifinal playoff games, like I said, in the 1-8 matchup, Jenks came victorious in that one, so they will face the 5 seed Bayhaven. Bayhaven, what is their mascot? The
Bobcats.
Bobcats. Yes, I could see it in their gym. The Bayhaven Bobcats, as they beat the number 4 seed Surfside, and then North Bayhaven took down University Academy. So North Bayhaven will play Rutherford, who, like we just said, upset number 3 Mowat. Chris, kind of what's the insight on these 2 semifinal matchups that'll be getting underway tomorrow?
You know, I like drama and upsets and all that good stuff, but I gotta say it, man. I mean, Jenks is just on that dynasty run. They're looking.
Are they going to be the team that can make a three-peat actually happen?
You know, the thing I love about basketball, or pretty much any sport, any given Sunday, right? Any given Saturday in college basketball, someone can pull that big upset. I think it's going to take a perfect game from anyone to really take it away from Jenks. They're just that strong. I've seen them play 3 times. They have physicality. They have size. They have dog on defense. If you got some snipers, I think you have a good shot against them, but you're going to have a unique game plan to beat Jenks this year. They're just loaded at every position.
And they're kind of like when we had Coach Olds with us a couple weeks ago. This is kind of the team that's been together for a few years, right?
Well, they've actually got some new pieces. They have a good program over there in Bayhaven, right? I mean, let's not say they don't have a chance. I do think they can play them. They've got some really good players over there. Can they match up all 5 the whole game? We'll see. But I wouldn't sell Bayhaven short. It's not a gimme. It's not a layup, in my opinion. On either semi, too. I think Rutherford really surprised a lot of people being Mowat. But if you look at Rutherford in the last half of the season, they put up some pretty impressive results, and to use that phrase, they're gelling together right now. They're coming together, and they look tough too. So I think that's going to be a great game, that Rutherford North Bayhaven, and then I think Bayhaven on the other side definitely will give Jenks more of a run than some people might expect.
Yeah, and then we will know who will be in our championship. But again, on the other side of the bracket too, you still have teams playing for 5th place, and then of course the losers of those games will go down and play for 7th place. But you've got University Academy that will be playing at Mowat, and then BPA will be playing at Surfside. Winner of those 2 games will go on to play each other for 5th place in the boys middle school bracket. So some other good matchups there, and it's been a fun season. It's been a fun season, and seeing these kids continue on, and you've seen a lot of these kids from the recreational travel ball moving up into middle school, and soon high school basketball. So it's fun stuff.
Now, Coach Latch, are you still with us?
I am.
I needed advice from both of you guys. We wanted to do like an all-Bay County team for middle school, and we have some awards. David Busters generously is going to donate for that as well. But Coach Latch, what do you think the best way to go about that is? We were thinking about just emailing all the coaches and say, limit 2 or 3 per your team, but give me your top 10, top 7, top 5. Is there anything on your end that you guys are doing an all-Bay County middle school team, or is that something you think we should approach from this side?
Yeah, we had a conversation about it at our last year's AD meeting, and it didn't stick with the middle school athletic directors. Obviously, we've changed the formatted dynamic of how we have done the high school voting process, where it's I think usually for high school it was like football would do on basketball, and then there would be hit or miss, right? So we've kind of collectively taken ownership of the high school stuff. Hadn't really gotten to the middle school level yet. Obviously, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I haven't really since the last AD meeting buzzed that around with the AD. But it'd be something definitely to talk about. So I don't know what the coach's feeling would be. I just know from an autonomy standpoint, if you got to do one, you got to do all, right? So it's one of those things from my perspective, we hadn't gotten to yet. We obviously expanding the playoffs and for every sport and and adding cross country, all the other things that we've done. We put a lot of effort into, but this is obviously one of those things that I think is on some people's mind to see in the future.
Well, Coach Latch, if you're okay with it, and Ryan, maybe we reach out to the coaches and we ask them to give us their team MVP or their players, because we like to reward all that great.
You've got the new relationship there with Dave and Busters, and we got to give some stuff out to some of these kids.
Well, and to Coach Latch's point too, not just to focus on boys basketball. Obviously, that's my passion as a sport. But if you all think that's a good idea, then happy to reach out to the coaches. Maybe we can do an MVP from each team.
Yeah, works for me. Works for me, and obviously it gives us something to talk about on the air.
Right.
I always love to talk about these youth athletes. That's for sure one of my favorite things.
Speaking of, I am dying to ask you on or off air how your first pylon 7-on-7 and what you thought.
It was interesting. We talked a little bit about it in the first segment, but I guess when you have the opportunity to get the best 12U from all over your respective state, and you have tryouts all over the state, you're going to get, the best of the best, the biggest, the fastest, the strongest. And, we're just a little rec flag football team that tried to hold our own. We scored touchdowns, but like we talked about, our first offensive play of the game, they were all up on our wide receivers. As soon as we snapped the ball, they knocked every one of our receivers to the ground, which honestly, I didn't think you could do that. I thought I read in the rules that you had to be 4 yards back, so we were not prepared for that. But the next couple games we learned, we adjusted, and we got a little bit better. We started driving the ball a little bit. There was just no way we were going to stop some of those kids.
Well, and it's funny too in the travel world, you see that we're from traditionally a small market, right? Yeah. Coach Latch can attest to this when he took Arnold and to play some other teams in bigger markets, but sometimes you show up at some of these tournaments, you're like, there's no way in heck these kids are 12 or 14 or 15.
Just good checks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's funny too when we went and played Miami, right? Like in 7th grade.
Yeah.
We played a team from Houston called 99 overall. 7th grade, all 5 starters dunk, and they had 2.66. I'm like, there's just no way. And I'm like, what? I'm not going to challenge because it's a national tournament. We use national sports ID. But it really, like Beth's post was really cute on Facebook. There's no way. I'm like, no, there is.
Yeah. And she went back and edited and was like, well, I guess, if you have somebody that's, because it's 5th and 6th grade too. So, I mean, the whole reclassification is a whole nother topic in youth sports and high school sports. And I get it because, not everybody's from the same situation. So if you've got an opportunity to be held back a couple grades, and that's going to make you the best out of the best in your particular class, and you're good enough to make some serious money, I get why you do it. It's just tough when, there's kids you're playing against that are double your size. And, it is what it is, but we learned, we had fun, and our kids had a blast trying to jam these kids at the line. So they finally got to, I was like, you guys can go out there and you guys could hit them. Yeah. Like John Andrew Bland, I was like, come on, John Andrew, get in there. And he's just too nice of a kid to mix it up. But yeah, no, it was interesting. It was fun. I loved it. I would certainly do it again. Obviously with the knowledge we have now, and then trying to find some other kids that are a little bigger. But yeah, no, it was cool. And it was cool to see, some of these top, we were talking about it earlier, some in like the high school division, like some of these top 4 or 5-star recruits that are already committed to go play at top Division I schools and stuff like that. So kind of a fun spectacle to be around as well.
And Coach Latch can attest to this. Like something that I'm learning about is my guys are in high school now for travel. Coach Latch, I'd never seen this before, but in the last couple of years, I've heard basketball players not playing basketball for their high school because they've got that D1 commitment or they've got a lot of looks. They don't want to get injured. And I've heard a couple in reverse where basketball is not playing football because of what they had. But Coach, are you seeing that more and more where kids are maybe laying off being a multi-sport athlete to preserve that scholarship offer? What's your take on that?
Yes, I feel like more on the side of not choosing to play multi-sports more so than not playing football or whatnot. Like just knowing the process of all of it. I feel like that's a huge turnoff to college coaches if it's being selective all for the sake of not being injured. I mean, injuries are a part of the sport, right? Yeah. So, but I do know that specialization has become its own bear, right? So I feel like once a kid has sought some interest and is getting some interest from college coaches at the next level, I feel like they choose to start the specialization process. But also I will say on the flip side, there are a lot of college coaches that encourage and really prefer multi-sport athletes over a specialization kid. I feel like the natural benefits of playing multiple sports outweighs a lot, and there's some toughness elements and some physicality elements to some sports that offer, and again, not just, I know we're talking about basketball, having our basketball blinders on, but just sports in general. If you got a kid that has all the same accolades and attributes across the board, and it's a specialization kid or a multi-sport kid, I'd argue that some coaches look toward more keen to the multi-sport kid. But again, it's not. I will never be in a position to tell anybody what to do or how. There is no right way to do it. Right? This is what's best for the kid moving forward. But there's recruiting and all that. Man, it's the Wild West. There's no way to put it in a box. There's no way to really put your thumb on it because it just is different everywhere you go.
Yeah, no doubt. I was talking to Coach Griffin yesterday over there at Arnold when we were doing some stuff with the Beach Marlins in the afternoon, and he was just like, I'm so glad I am more towards the end of my career than the beginning of my career. He said, because each year this is like, not only are you having to try to, recruit kids from other places, you got to continue to recruit your own kids to stay on your high school team. So I couldn't imagine the challenges that come with being a modern day high school coach, let alone a college coach, as it continues. Like you said, the Wild Wild West certainly sums it up perfectly. But at the same time, there's a lot of families that are getting money that can really, really help out their situations. And, so that's kind of a good side of it to see. But we'll see how it all continues as schools will start to be able to pay certain amounts going forward. And maybe we'll see some things change as we progress through the ever-changing college athletics. Trish, you got anything else for Josh?
Yeah, just one quick question. And Josh, I know this is the time of year, but could you touch on school choice? I've had a couple parents ask me about that, and I don't want to say anything that I'm not too keen on. But if a student in high school is transferring like freshman to sophomore to junior year, what is the process for those guys? Or can you walk them through that? I just don't want to misquote, or I really don't want to speak on it without knowing for sure.
Yeah, so through the state statute and open enrollment, and Florida's so unique because you really could play 3 different sports in one season based off of. There's all kind of options, but what it boils down to is through the FHSAA's eyes, there are 7 types of students, right? So you got your home education with what's called like personalized education programs, like your new PEP kind of student, and you have your traditional home ed kids. And then you have your charter kids, you have your special schools like your district, Bay District schools online, like Bay Virtual. And then you have your non-member privates, like your Covenant. You have your FLVS, like your Florida Virtual student. What am I missing? I think obviously traditional public school kids, and then you have what's called like a public transfer, right? Like a type 7, so which would be like public school to public school. There is information. I'm working slowly on redeveloping our website, middle school and high school. If you go to just BayDistrictSchoolsAthletics.com, you will find a lot of information. So open enrollment, there's every scenario is specific. They fall into different categories, but I wouldn't really understand how to break down the category until I, figured out what the situation was. But if you go to the website, there's a tab called Resources and Forums, and there's a bunch of stuff on, student types, county handbook information, and then, obviously NFHS and FHSA information. But it has the different forms that you would need for your open enrollment process, right? So if you come to the district and, you are trying to enroll in a certain school, or if you're a non-traditional kid, it'll have the process, a breakdown of forms that you'll need. Again, you can always call my office, and we'll help guide you through. But to try to put it in a scenario, I just have to need more information on the situation at hand.
Yeah, no doubt. It's I don't know how you keep up with all of it. From the outside looking in, it certainly looks extremely complicated. But Chris, Josh, appreciate you guys jumping in today, and we look forward to hopefully talking next Monday. And I believe we'll be getting prepared for the championship game on Tuesday. At that point, just real quick on the girls' soccer side of things, we've got our final regular season matches tomorrow. Rutherford will be hosting University Academy, Breakfast Point hosting Surfside, Bay Haven hosting Palm Bay, Jinx hosting North Bay Haven, Merritt Brown hosting Mowat, and Tyndall Academy has a bye. Currently, University Academy, Bay Haven, Surfside, Mowat, North Bay Haven, Breakfast Point, Jinx, and Palm Bay would be your 1 through 8 with that tiebreaker on the back end of the 3 teams that are 4 and 5. So maybe that'll get worked out for you, Josh, come tomorrow, so you don't have to figure all that stuff out. But looking forward, and we'll keep you updated on the girls' soccer playoffs in middle school as well. Chris, anything else before we go?
Just real quick, it looks like, just looking at the BDS schedule, the championship's actually this Thursday. So semis Tuesday,
That's
tailgate
right.
at 2, like last year, and game starts at 4.
Yep, absolutely. I'm excited to see who'll be doing the tailgating this year. Last year was fantastic. So
it was really good stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to it. You guys listen to the Inside Drive. That was Chris Fall and Josh Latch. We'll be right back.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Do you want to eat like a local? The Local 115 is now open. Local drinks, local sports, and local food. Delicious oysters, crab cakes, steamed seafood, gumbos, salads, paninis, wings, wine, and cold beer. Nothing fried. That's right. No fried foods at Local 115. Amazing local food with an exciting local sports and mural theme. Eat like a local at the Local 115. 115 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Panama City, your car is filthy. Your house is a disgrace. But do not fear. Martin Karab is here. At MK Evolution, we terminate dirt, obliterate grime, and crush filth with the force of 1,000 flexing biceps. Full car details so clean, your reflection will say, hasta la vista. Pressure washing so powerful, your neighbors will salute you. Call MK Evolution now at 850-319-2323.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. This is not for the casual fan. This is for the warriors. This is for the legends.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. You're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Appreciate Chris Ball and Josh Latch jumping on with us to keep you updated on all, not just middle school activities, but Bay District Schools athletics as well. Two fantastic stewards for this community with Chris and Josh. So always a pleasure to have them here on the Inside Drive. But yeah, I think we covered everything for you there on what's coming up with middle school sports. And of course, I know baseball is going on right now, but just one team here locally in Bay County, and that's University Academy, that competes against teams from outside the area. And one of the cool things for, I guess it would be more for the dads, is I think it was last Thursday or Friday, they played Seaside Academy, and Tom Glavin's the head coach of Seaside Academy. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And he does a lot. Tom Glavin does a big golf fundraiser over there, as he's a big avid golfer. But I was gonna say, it seemed it was more exciting for the dads of the kids, and I'm sure a lot of these kids know who he is too. But your middle 30s to middle 40-year-old parents, Tom Glavin, if you were a Braves fan, that was your heyday.
Yeah, I saw a few buddies of mine getting some signatures at the game.
Yeah, no doubt. Got to take advantage of the opportunity while you can. It'd be pretty cool to play for an MLB legend. That is,
unless you're like the son.
Yeah.
Then all of the focus and attention is on you.
Yep. No doubt. A lot of pressure. The legacy players, as they call them. But I want to talk. I know Jay's not here, but I want to talk a little bit about the golf tournament from this past weekend. Obviously, when we had Keith on, it's the Cognizant Classic there at the Palm Beaches, and kind of a story that came out of that. A lot of fans were blasting Jake Knapp's decision that they deemed as a ridiculous decision. Kind of talking about a little bit. He shot 59 on Thursday and was tied for the lead at 18 under when he reached the par 4 11th at PGA Nationals Championship course. He had a great tee shot, found his tee shot in the fairway with an approach from about 146 yards, and he was substantially short on that second shot, and his golf ball ended up partially submerged in the water guarding the green. Knapp then decided to take his right shoe and sock off before attempting to hack the ball onto the putting surface and try to save what would have been an audacious par. But things did not go to plan, and when Knapp watched in horror as his ball trickled back into the water after he took an almighty swipe at the ball, Knapp gathered his composure before playing his fourth shot, but once again failed to get the ball onto the putting surface. This time, though, his Titleist Pro V1 left dot found dry land but was still on the bank. From there, Knapp finally got it on the dance floor, but eventually trudged off the green with a triple bogey on his card. It meant he fell 5 places on the leaderboard. Needless to say, Knapp's decision came under scrutiny from many PGA Tour fans watching on the Golf Channel. Many argued that Knapp should have just taken his medicine and dropped. A hole mirrored in terrible decisions, one ex-user wrote. Another added, what a dumb decision, it cost him the win, and he should be penalized for slow play. This person wrote, there's aggressive and then there's reckless. This was a case of the latter. Added, E. Duran, what a ridiculous decision. His caddy should be fired. That's an interesting take there, that putting the blame on the caddy. But it's kind of one of those things, and I feel like our nature in sports is always to try to, be the hero. But in this situation, sometimes taking it, and that's what when I used to teach golf all the time, especially in the course management side of things, I was like, sometimes a penalty can actually be more beneficial than trying to hit a hero shot. And I believe this is certainly one of those circumstances where if he just would have taken his drop outside of the penalty area and then maybe got up and down and saved a bogey, he still would have been, just dropping one shot there and still close to the leaderboard with a lot of golf still to go. That's where my thought on taking the penalty and the drop and trying to save a bogey was the right decision, because he still had 8 holes to play after that one, and there's several par 5s on the way in at PGA National. But what do you think, David, as a non-golf fan? And don't give me a J answer. This
is even worse. I'm just shaking my head back here. I don't know. It's tough. The hero shot's always fun. Man, it's real hard to put myself in a position where
I get it.
Normally I'll kick the ball out and say, oh, it landed right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Got a nice bounce there, but
that'll get you a little
I would
more
have
trouble,
to agree with the golf professional on the show.
Yeah.
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine. Find the and it's risk management, right?
Yeah.
It's looking at the situation. What is going to give me the best opportunity to get the ball in the hole in the shortest amount of strokes? And I really felt like taking that drop there, given the position he was tied for the lead at the time, still had a lot of golf to go, and
the ball was in the water.
Yeah, so basically the green, there was a pond he hit it right in front of the pond, so he had to carry the entire pond to get to the green, and he hit it a little short, and it ended up rolling down and basically was half submerged in the water, which there's no guarantee you're going to get it out of there, because you have to strike it perfectly, because that water really slows down the golf club.
But it's not like a sand shot then?
No, not at all. Not at all, because the water just does, it slows down your club a lot more than that sand does, especially depending on what angle you end up having it at, because you really want the blade to cut through the water, because if you open it up like a sand shot, it's actually really going to go slow through that water. But you almost got to kind of hack down on it like with a blade like that to get it to pop out. And obviously it didn't work the first time. Didn't get it.
How far away was he?
He was just off the green, basically. So the pond abutted to the green, and he was just down in that pond, just short of the green. But just thought it was an interesting story, especially given how it transpired and what happened with the rest of the tournament. But Jake Knapp's obviously having a fantastic year thus far. He's already got a win and had a nice finish there at the Cognizant Classic, so I think he's pretty high up there on the FedEx Cup standings. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, it'll be time for our afternoon delight debrief. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thank you.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour and the high of 68. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 55. Tomorrow, a high around 70 and some sun. Wednesday, very warm with a high of 70 and light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it. Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour and the high of 68. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 55. Tomorrow, a high around 70 and some sun. Wednesday, very warm with a high of 70 and light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Billburn Kia during the President's Day sale going on all month long. Are you looking for a fuel-efficient SUV that doesn't compromise on style, comfort, and performance? Stop in today at Billburn Kia and let our team put you behind the wheel of your new Kia. Billburn Kia is now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento. Billburn Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBurnKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento with $1,748 per month per $1,000 finance in 60 months. Qualities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billburn Kia warranty. See dealer for complete detail. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/3/25.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Uncommon Moments. Here's former Super Bowl winning NFL coach Tony Dungy and his wife Lauren sharing from their book Uncommon Marriage.
Having your wife help you grow as a husband is really valuable. Sometimes I get too focused on the what ifs, and Lauren shows me not to worry. I'm a better dad and a better husband because of her wisdom. What you don't want to do is say to yourself, I wish my spouse was more like me. I shouldn't think that about my wife or my children or anyone. Instead, we're a team.
Our differences are one reason God brought us together, and we make good decisions when we work through things as husband and wife. I think my perspective helps Tony look at things differently for the better. Together we trust the Lord, knowing He will work all things out.
Tony and Lauren Dungy, authors of Uncommon Marriage, learning about lasting love and overcoming life's obstacles together. Discover more at CoachDungy.com.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You know what sucks that's paired with having brain surgery?
Is it the steroids?
Bad allergies.
Oh, bad. Oh, yeah. It's that time of the year.
Yep. There's just yellow everywhere, and, you know, it just creates more congestion, creates more cough, and it's just, that's why my cough is not too great today, is allergies are prevalent, but it's that time of year, unfortunately. I know that means one thing, though. We're getting ever so closer to the Masters Tournament. I know we got TPC Sawgrass Players Championship coming up here in a couple weeks. We got the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week, but I want to talk a little afternoon delight debriefs. Again, we appreciate you tuning in on 104.3 in Panama City or Panama City Beach or wherever you're tuning in from. We appreciate you jumping on 104.3. If you're down there along the Forgotten Coast, we appreciate you very much as well. If you've tuned in on 101.9, and then as always, we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You'll find our channel, and you can just click the live stream show to check it out. You can also watch it after the fact as well. And, of course, you can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. You can listen to us live wherever you got your phone and have cell phone service. That one, you just got to search 104.3. It'll pop up right there in your Google Play or Apple Store, and just download that. A lot of great contests come out through that app as well. And then, of course, if you're tired of paying all these expensive streaming rates, you can head over to ESPNPC.com. Scroll down just a little bit. Look for that TV channel icon. That is Lucid Streams TV for just $41.99 a month. Over 2,000 channels on demand, including all your local sports, regional sports, all your professional sports, pay-per-view events. Literally anything you could possibly want to watch is right there on Lucid Streams TV. And if you're a big movie buff as well, they've got over 10,000 movies on demand. All right, we're going to jump kind of all over the place with some Afternoon Delight debriefs. The first one, I don't know if it's a debrief or not, but I'm going to give it a whirl. Basically, so this says, so in the middle of the Civil War, someone was like, you know what this country needs? A delicious steak sauce. A1 was established in 1862, which was right there in the heart of the Civil War. A1 sauce was created to enhance the flavor of meat, fish, and fowl. It was invented in 1824 by the Henderson William brand, the personal chef of King George IV and the United Kingdom, and officially established as a company in 1862.
Have you ever had A1 on fish before?
Nope.
I've drank it straight out the bottle, but I've never put it on fish before.
I actually prefer it on like country fried steak. That's what I like A1 on.
I'm a white gravy. White gravy. When
See,
it
that
comes
makes
to
sense.
country. Yeah.
You're from the South. I don't use it like, I'm not like, hey, I'm having a steak, I need A1. No, not at all. If a steak's cooked well enough and seasoned well enough, you shouldn't need anything on it. Yeah, like chicken fried steak, I always had it with A1. Just the way it's soaked up the A1. I do love the flavor of A1. Yeah, so in the middle of the Civil War, that was established.
Heinz 57 or A1?
Okay.
No, which one?
Oh, I'm not.
For you.
I don't like ketchup.
Oh. It's not technically. I guess it's based in ketchup, huh?
Yeah.
I love Heinz 57, man.
There you go.
But yeah, that's a great idea. You need to make a little bit of money. Let's make food taste better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were talking about the Masters here just a second ago. Little fun fact, the last 10 Masters champions, on average, were 31 years old, ranked 9.4 in the world, and made 8 previous Augusta appearances. Little foreshadowing if anybody wants to get some futures in there. Bryson DeChambeau is 31 years old. He's currently ranked 10th in the world, and he has made 8 Masters appearances. So if trends follow, this might be old Bryson's year.
How many majors does he have in total?
I think he's got 2 or 3. I know he won the U.S. Open this past year. And has he won another one? He's won another one before that, I think. I know you're Googling it up here really quick.
He's got 2 of them.
Okay. What was the other one? Another U.S. Open?
2020, yep.
Okay.
So it will get him one step closer to kind of, what's it, the Grand Slam?
The career Grand Slam.
Grand Slam,
if you get all 4. Now, the Grand Slam is when you hold all 4 in the same season, or not season, because it's...
And what's the Tiger Slam?
Tiger was the last one to do that particular feat of the Grand Slam.
Okay.
So I think they just dubbed it the Tiger Slam. But yeah, so if you're looking to get a futures bet there on some Augusta National winners, Bryson DeChambeau, maybe, because that's what we always look for in betting, right? Is some weird thing to justify why we decided to go with that particular team. And there's your reasons right there.
You think he goes back to the PGA Tour?
I do. I think the PGA Tour is going to, we talked about, I think, last week on the one day I was on, that if there was one person the PGA Tour needs to get back to kind of get their momentum back going, I think Bryson DeChambeau would be that guy, given his social media presence and his willingness to, really engage with fans and quote unquote actually grow the game of golf, which at the end of the day, I think what the PGA Tour is about, I'm not really sure, but feels like it anyway. Here's another interesting sports story, pretty incredible stuff. Omaha North, which is a high school there in Omaha, Nebraska, his name is Tyson Terry. He tore his ACL in October during a football game and wrestled on it the whole season to complete the first heavyweight four-peat in Nebraska high school history. Terry finished his career 169-0 and will join Nebraska football next season as a defensive lineman commit. So talk about being able to persevere injuries. That's pretty incredible stuff there, especially with your opponent knowing what you're dealing with. You think they'd be able to target that a little bit. I just don't know enough about whether that was...
What sport is this again?
Wrestling.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. So he finished his career 169-0 and tore his ACL in October and then wrestled the whole season to become Nebraska's first ever heavyweight four-peat winner.
I'm surprised I haven't seen nothing about that from Andy Siegel on Facebook or something.
I know. Well, if Andy's listening, you can talk, because I know his Bears going back to state championship again. I saw him post about that. So, but yeah. So some cool stuff there that I indeed came across. This is kind of I wanted to kind of talk to Jay about this one, but we can revisit it. No offense to you, David. It's quote-unquote...
None taken.
The unwritten rules of golf, and it kind of flows back into Jake Knapp's thing. Number 1, always attempt the hero shot. It's not just cool to... It's not just not cool to lay up. No one remembers a coward. Breakfast ball, mulligan.
Well, I mean, I think with the hero shot, it's if you're playing for a big purse.
Yeah, this is like casual golf.
Okay,
yeah.
Then absolutely, always take every opportunity and always go for the gusto.
Absolutely. Breakfast ball, mulligan. Everyone gets one mulligan on the 1st and 10th tee. Always go for the green on a short par 4. Where's the fun in not even trying? Free drop. When your ball was clearly in play, but you can't find it, just drop it where it was supposed to be. If you're actually playing competitive golf and all of your partners can agree where your ball was, you are entitled to a free drop. Now, you have to get all your playing partners to agree on that, and if you're competing against them, they may not want to agree to that, but that is actually a rule that you can use to your advantage. Again, for a ball that, is obviously should have been in play. Lie improvement. Common, we are not pros. If it is in the fairway but is with a bad lie, just move it so it's fair.
Enjoy the game of golf.
No doubt.
If you're paying to do it, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Too dark to finish all 18. If you have 2 holes left, it becomes too dark to play. Just say you got a bogey on both. Number 7, tee shot, not past the ladies' tee. You buy a beer for the whole group, or you play the next tee shot with your pants down. That's a very common one. If you don't get it past the ladies' tee, you usually had to drop your drawers, and I don't think anybody actually ever does it, but I like the other version of just buying a beer for the whole group.
I like that one a little bit more.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, do you take your pants all the way off, or are they around your ankles? Because that would make it very
hard to
tough
swing.
Yeah,
no doubt. You'd really have to rotate. Typically, they just said you just got to drop your drawers. I've never witnessed it. Now, I've witnessed a lot of people not hit it past I'm going to be politically correct and call it what it's called, the forward tee.
Why not just call them the red tee? Well, I guess every golf course is different.
No doubt. Yeah, because they're not all. It's like your standard is red, white, blue. But yeah, every golf course certainly differs when it comes to their tee boxes, whether it's numbered, whether it's colors, whatever it may be. If the game goes so bad, just play the rest as a scramble instead. More fun to continue the rest of the holes playing as a scramble with both you and your friend playing bad. I like that one for sure. Number 9, the first person to the tee plays first. There are not honors. The one that want to play, just play. I like that too. For speeding up the game of golf as well. Number 10, we are not pros. No need to warm up for an hour before. Just hit one drive and you are ready. Again, it's all
basically breakfast ball, right?
Yeah, essentially, or just go up to the driving range, tee one up, and take a swing. And the driving range is really just for getting loose and warming up anyway. So don't put too much emphasis into how you do in your pre-round range session, because the range is not for getting your game ready for a round of golf. It's just for warming up to be ready to play. If you want to get better, get some lessons and spend time on the range outside of when you're playing a round of golf. All right, who do we got on the line?
Hello?
Who is this?
This is Michael Statham. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
I was listening to you. Have you ever seen the movie Tin Cup?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Little Gus from the Gods, eh, Romes?
Yeah, man, and he kept trying to hit it over the water and blew up.
Yep.
So when you started talking about this morning, I just kept picturing that in my head. I actually had to Google it real quick. But, yeah, that guy, he just couldn't let go.
Yep.
But anyways.
Tin Cup was the epitome of trying to hit that hero shot, and he eventually did, and then, of course, with the movie theatrics of a movie, he knocked it in on that last attempt, and, of course, it was on his last ball. But you could also see that his caddy, Romes, as he called him, Romeo, was trying to tell him to do the right thing prior to that, where he said, hey, just knock one down there up and head of the pond, get up and down for par, and win the tournament. But instead, sometimes people's egos get in their way, and I don't know if that's what happened with Jake Knapp in the event this weekend. I just think he, maybe thought he could hit the shot, and it just didn't work out. And obviously, hindsight's always 20/20 when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it's always fun to try to hit that hero shot, especially going for the green and 2 on par 5s.
Yeah, sometimes your ego can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
He got all the glory, but he lost, in the end. So. But great movie. Kevin Costner makes the best sports movie.
He does. He is fantastic in sports movies. There's a handful of them that are top-notch, no doubt, and Tin Cup's one of my favorites, that's for sure.
Well, anyways, man, y'all keep up the good work. Just I had thought about that and I had to call y'all.
Yeah, no, appreciate you giving us a call. It was fantastic. Appreciate you listening as well. All right. Let's see if I got any other fun afternoon delight debriefs here. Here's a good one. Megalodon goldfish found in Pennsylvania waterway. Hadn't been on the old oddnews.com in quite some time. So,
what does it look like? Does it look like a shark goldfish?
No, it just looks like a really plump goldfish.
Oh, well, at least it ain't got them googly eyes, man. Those are some weird looking
yeah, I know
fish,
exactly
right?
what you're talking about. Absolutely. But this is from March 3rd today. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is reminding pet owners not to release their goldfish into waterways after researchers in Pennsylvania found a massive megalodon. The USFWS said researchers conducting an electrofishing survey in Presque Isle, Erie County, Pennsylvania, found a gigantic goldfish larger than researcher Corey Ketchum's hand. That is a big goldfish. Your pet store goldfish after 2 years in the wild. Call me Megalodon, the USFWS said on social media. The service said goldfish are an invasive species. They turn lakes and waterways into murky messes, steal food from native fish, and wreck water quality, the Post said. Officials wrote that goldfish may start out small, but they can become a big problem very quickly. One goldfish might not seem like a big deal, but they multiply fast, the USFWS said. Goldfish spawn several times a season, and because they have no natural predators in North American waters, their populations explode. I guess that's
they
why
don't have any predators?
Like, wouldn't anything that would eat like fish normally?
Definitely a snake and a gator, right? Catfish would absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, even
goldfish.
raccoons? Raccoons eat trash stuff, but I don't know. I guess that's why they tell you to flush down the toilet, right? So it's got to go through the water treatment plant.
That depends on who you ask, man. If it's someone who, really takes their aquatic seriously, they would not be, they have certain ways of kind of euthanizing the fish, making sure that it's completely dead and then burying it.
Ah, gotcha. Shoebox fish.
But I'll flush it down the toilet, yeah.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's a true burial. A water burial, but apparently don't release them into ponds or waterways because they get giant and disrupt the regular ecosystem.
Yeah, I guess they can have few to no natural predators, which is wild to me. They don't seem like very aggressive
I guess the key
fish.
word is natural predators because, are goldfish like... that's a natural occurring fish, or is it something that we
think so?
That we just decided to sell in pet stores?
Well, and I would imagine most of the ones that find their ways into ponds are probably the ones from the fish stores and whatnot. But the ones that are down the toilet are the ones from those like ping pong games back in the day at the fall festival.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think goldfish stink when they nostalgic wise for me, I remember we had some of those goldfish from a fall festival, and when they passed away, if I smell a smell like that, I'm just like, goldfish, and not the crackers.
No. Definitely not. All right, here's another interesting one. Man wins $200 in lawsuit over movie theater showing too many commercials. An Indian man was awarded more than $200 in compensation when he sued a movie theater chain for showing too many commercials before a film. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was from Bangalore, filed a suit with the Bangalore District Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission after he attended a December 26, 2023 screening of Sam Bahadur at the PVR multiplex in Bangalore. Let's see. His complaint against the theater chain PVR INOX said the film had been scheduled to end at 6:30, but it didn't end until just before 7 p.m. He said this was due to the film preceded by 2 public service announcements and 17 commercials. The plaintiff said the movie's delayed ending caused him to miss a scheduled work call. His suit sought $547 in damages for what he called unfair trade practice, as well as $57 for mental agony and $115 for legal costs. The District Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission sided with Abhishek, awarding him $230 in damages and $92 for legal cost. In the new era, time is considered as money, and each one's time is very precious. The ruling stated 25 to 30 minutes is a considerable amount of time to sit idle in a theater and watch unnecessary ads. People with tight schedules do not have time to waste. Well, people with tight schedules shouldn't go to movies.
There you go. And how important were those public service announcements? We'll never know that, right? And I guess the moral of the story, though, is just to know what time your movie is ending and make sure that it ends on time.
And this was in India, too, not in the United States of America, so I figured Bangalore was in India. But yeah, I guess India's like America. You can sue for anything. Crazy stuff. Japanese park covering 2.5 square feet is officially world's smallest. 2.5 square feet. It's pretty.
Did they do that just for a record? Just to make the smallest park in the world, huh?
I'm guessing that was one we probably could have...
Jay could have done that one.
Easily. But it's a park in Nagaizumi, Japan, has officially been named the world's smallest park, covering an area of just 2.5 square feet. The park near Nagaizumi Town Hall, about an hour's drive from Tokyo, was created in 1988 after a worker at a construction management division of a Nagaizumi town returned from a trip to the United States. The worker had encountered Millends Park in Portland, Oregon, which previously held the record at 3.1 square feet, so they wanted to create an even smaller park. Shuji Koyama, a team leader at the construction management division, told Guinness World Records. The park was completed in 1988, but the city didn't bring a Guinness World Records educator to officially measure it until this past December. The Nagaizumi Park is now certified as the world's smallest. We want to continue maintaining the park with the community, as well as creating a landscape that is more social media friendly so that even more people will find attractions of our town, Koyama said. I mean, it is tiny and there's just one person sitting in it, so I guess that makes it a park.
At least someone can get in there.
That's true. I mean, these Guinness Book of World Records, I mean, you can pretty much do anything you want to do. This one's for you, David. A deputy wrangles loose kangaroo in Texas. Let's see. This is from February 28th. Authorities in Texas said a deputy was called out to wrangle a kangaroo seen hopping loose while wearing a red jacket. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office said the fashionable marsupial was spotted wandering loose in the area of Ferrick Loth Road and Farm to Market 609 on Thursday. If your kangaroo is missing, is your kangaroo missing? The sheriff's office said on social media. Yes, we are serious. We couldn't make this up if we wanted to. The post was later updated to state the owner of the kangaroo, which turned out to be named Jack, was located and the marsupial returned home. That's the end of that story.
Good old marsupials, man.
That's right. I think Texas, I don't know if you have to have a permit in Texas or not, but I do know it's one of the states you can. I know Florida you can too, but you have to apply for that specific permit. Didn't realize we ran a little long there. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, I want to talk a little bit about the NASCAR race this past weekend, as I did watch the end of it, and it was very, very exciting nonetheless. You guys listen to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Monday. Sunshine the rest of the day with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour out of the south, and look for it to be 68. Tonight there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 55. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 70. Wednesday we'll have a high of 70 and light showers. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Panama City, your car is filthy. Your house is a disgrace. But do not fear. Martin Karab is here. At MK Evolution, we terminate dirt, obliterate grime, and crush filth with the force of 1,000 flexing biceps. Full car details so clean, your reflection will say, hasta la vista. Pressure washing so powerful, your neighbors will salute you. Call MK Evolution now at 850-319-2323.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Too many calories can be bad for your diet, but what about too few calories? Hi, Doug Chamberlain with the Samaritan Ministries Family Health Checkup. We know that consuming too many calories can be bad for any diet plan, but can I consume too few calories? Well, the answer is yes for a couple of reasons. First, our bodies need the right amount of nutrients so that our body's systems function properly. Things like digestion and circulation are directly affected by what we consume. Which leads into the second reason. Not consuming enough calories can affect our metabolism and cause muscles to deteriorate, make us sluggish, and put our bodies into survival mode, affecting other organs. Getting the right amount of nutrient-rich calories into our diets will help keep our bodies functioning properly and keep us healthier overall. For more, visit us on Facebook or at familyhealthcheckup.org.
We're betting the limit and covering the spread. The Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay, live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Thank you. Nice to be in Vegas.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Real quick update about this past weekend's NASCAR race. You continue into the afternoon underdogs. I believe they'll have R.J. Starkovich, if I pronounce his name correctly, going over this race in detail. But I did happen to flip over to it and check out the ending. And at the time, Kyle Busch was leading and driving very, very well, but was being pushed pretty hard from behind. And William Byron ended up taking, I think he was fourth or fifth at the time when I was watching, and ended up taking the lead after passing several people, and then held on to it, through the rest of the race. Road races they intrigue me a lot more than the regular.
I'm the opposite. I like the ovals. I guess I like the 3 wide, all of that good stuff. But there is kind of more opportunities to pass as long as the leader's just not way out in front on the road courses.
And again, I'm not a NASCAR, enthusiast or expert by any means, but it seems like you have to be, and not that, obviously driving at 200 miles an hour or 3 wide in an oval, you have to be a very skilled driver in order to get past people. It just feels like there's a little more to the driving when it comes to a road race course.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they make right turns and stuff, so that makes them have to be a little bit more skilled. But it was a good race for the moments that I watched. I did actually go back and watch like a condensed replay of it, and those final few laps were absolutely exhilarating.
Yeah, no doubt. William Byron is now, he's moved up to, he's leading the point standing now with Ryan Blaney being in second, Tyler Riddick being in third, Christopher Bell with another good finish is in fourth, Chase Elliott in fifth, and then it goes down from there. But again, if you want to get a full NASCAR recap, tune in the Afternoon Underdogs this afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. He comes on right about, 5, second hour of the show?
4:20.
Seems to be the magic time there for your big time guests, G, RJ, all those folks. It's kind of like 11:20 here. It's something about that. You can't jump right out of the gate. You got to kind of ease into it, and whatever you want to call it.
The other day we had Jake Chapman on with the Orlando Magic. He's their play-by-play broadcaster, and I had him set to go at 4:05, and right at that time, our Facebook started malfunctioning. It's like Murphy's Law happened right then. So it is a lot easier, or just
gives you a little bit of a window in case something goes haywire, which with technology, something always seems to go haywire. Another big game that transpired this past weekend was the big Stadium Series game. That was the over there in Ohio Stadium, the Shoe, Columbus Blue Jackets versus the Detroit Red Wings. I believe the final score of that game was 5-3. Columbus defending that quote-unquote home ice over the Red Wings. But with that game that was played at Ohio Stadium, that makes it the third most attended ice hockey game ever, with the number one game being at Michigan Stadium. It was Michigan versus Michigan State, a college hockey game back on December 11th, 2010.
Wow.
That had 113,411 attendees. I couldn't imagine trying to be in it like that, because Michigan Stadium is so wide anyway, because it's such a bowl. So to be like towards the top, they must look like ants down there. Second most attended game was also at Michigan Stadium. That was the Detroit Red Wings versus the Toronto Maple Leafs back on January 1st, 2014. That was 105,491 attendees. And then this game this past weekend was the third most attended ice hockey game ever at 94,751 in attendance there. The next was the Cotton Bowl. That was the Dallas Stars versus the Nashville Predators back on January 1st, 2020. That was 85,630 people. So that was your fourth most attended. And then the fifth most attended game, we actually have had the ice technician that was a part of this game on our show multiple times, Al Carl, my good friend growing up. That was at MetLife Stadium. That was the New York Rangers versus the New York Islanders on February 18th, 2024, with 79,690 people in attendance for that game. And I know you've been to an outdoor game up there at Nissan Stadium, and as you've always mentioned, like if you're going to a hockey game for the first time, go to a regular hockey game. Enjoy the game from where you can really see like you're supposed to, because these are cool experiences, but to see the ice, it's definitely a lot more challenging just because of the nature of the size of the rink compared to a football field. And then obviously the way the stadiums are built, they're built to watch football out there.
Yeah, you could see there from Ohio Stadium, there were 50, 60 yards away. The first row was 50, 60 yards away from the walls. But, man, it being in a college atmosphere, I think that kind of takes it up a notch. And the attendance will show you as well. I mean, Michigan always outdoing Ohio State. How do y'all feel about that, Buckeyes?
Yep.
But I thought it was real cool, just kind of the pageantry that went along with college football kind of merging with the NHL as well. And it was a really good hockey game as well, because Columbus kind of battled out or got out to a quick start, and then Detroit found their way back into it. And then you know how it goes at the end of hockey games, man. You open up that net, and you're more than likely going to be losing.
No doubt. But pretty cool stuff. The Stadium Series continues to be very popular with the NHL. They also have the Outdoor Series as well, which is a little bit different than the Stadium Series. And they're
going to try to play this in Florida.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Be interesting to see how that all goes. That's what, next season?
I think 26, yeah. 26 and then 27, I believe.
Yeah, back to back. Be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But always good seeing the NHL get some more promotional action. And like you said, kind of pairing it and tying it a little bit with the college football sporting world, too, is only going to be beneficial for the NHL as well, given the popularity of college football. All right, I'm bouncing around between different sports right now. We're going to talk about Division I baseball right now. I'm going to go through your top 25 real quick. A lot of SEC schools in there, including the number 1 and number 2 teams. You've got LSU currently ranked number 1. They are 11-1. Tennessee is 11-0 at number 2. Arkansas, another SEC team, is 10-1 at number 3. Then an ACC team sneaks in there at 12-0. That's UNC, North Carolina. Georgia, another SEC team, 13-1, ranked 5th in the country. Florida State off to a fantastic start at 11-0, currently ranked 6th in the country. And then those Florida Gators are 11-0 as well, ranked number 7th. The Beavers from Oregon State, what conference are they playing in baseball?
I would imagine that they're in that West Coast Conference again.
The WCC. And then Virginia, the Cavaliers, 7-3, ranked number 9. Oregon, 10. Clemson, 11. Texas, 12, another SEC team. Oklahoma, 13. Texas A&M. So in the top 15, that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 SEC schools. So between basketball and baseball, certainly looking pretty good. Wake Forest at number 15. My dad's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara, at number 16, which he's got bragging rights over me right now as they are ranked ahead of my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Ole Miss is ranked number 17. Vandy at number 18. That would make 10 SEC schools in the top 20. Troy, just up the road, number 19 currently in the country. Southern Miss, 20 in the country. DBU, Dallas Baptist at 21. Auburn Tigers at 11-1, ranked 22nd. Alabama Crimson Tide, 12-0, right behind them. That would make 13 schools in the top 25 from the SEC. Pretty impressive stuff there. And then it rounds out with Coastal Carolina at number 24 and Oklahoma State at number 25. This is Coastal Carolina's first season in a long time without Coach Gary Gilmore at the helm, as he retired at the end of last season. He's been battling cancer for a while and kind of spending some time with his family and stepping away from the game of baseball for a little bit. So
Oregon State's actually independent in baseball.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So the trickle-down effect of the Pac-12's kind of, I don't want to say implosion, but
that's what it was.
Essentially, what it certainly is. That's for sure. Is for sure. But yeah, SEC just obviously always good in football, but really good in basketball and really good in baseball, which makes it a lot of fun. And of course, to have the boys from Tallahassee right down the road off to a fantastic start as well. Haven't lost a game yet. Coach Link Jarrett there is doing a good job with that team. They're fresh off a World Series trip from last year after winning their Super Regional, which was a lot of fun to go attend. It was very, very hot as well.
Yeah, y'all looked not miserable. That's not the right, but I mean, you could see the sun rays were beaming down off y'all's heads.
No doubt. I remember Beth had to pick up an older gentleman who passed out right in front of her in the concourse. But yeah, so college baseball is alive and well, which is pretty crazy. I know all your spring training games are pretty much being played every day as we get ever so closer to the start of the Major League Baseball season. And I know everybody's excited for that. We'll get Joe Bond back on the show on Fridays as we get a little closer to that to talk about some fantasy baseball. Are we going to get that fantasy baseball league going again?
Yeah, man. I know that I'm pretty sure everyone who was involved in the league last year wants to play, so might as well renew it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lot of fun. It was my first dabble in fantasy baseball, and
it's a lot different, man, than fantasy football.
No doubt. Which I kind of
you got to know a lot about guys you don't know nothing about.
Yeah, you actually have to do probably a little more research. than you normally have to do in football, just because the general knowledge of football seems to be quite a bit more, unless you're an avid baseball fan there. But yeah. We do have a TGL event tonight. It's kind of hard to keep track of all these schedules because some days it's Tuesday, some days it's Monday. But tonight we got coming up.
Why wouldn't they just leave it on Monday whenever the season's in play and you're playing on Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Then Monday kind of gives you a day of rest. I don't know, man. Tough. I don't know why they would do this. I guess it makes sense that they're doing it at the beginning of the golf season where not a lot is happening with the big names.
Yeah. But that's why it's culminating. I think it's coming to an end here pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you got a match tonight between Boston Common and the New York Golf Club. Boston Common has yet to win a match yet, which is surprising with Rory McIlroy being on their team. And then tomorrow you've got another match, the Jupiter Golf Club versus the Atlanta Drive Golf Club. Atlanta Drive's looking pretty good at 3-1. And then the semifinals will be Monday, March 17th. And Tuesday, March 18th, with the final series starting on Monday, March 24th, and then, if necessary, 2 matches being played on Tuesday, March 25th. So it looks like we got a couple more weeks, and then the inaugural season will be coming to an end. And obviously, a lot of people talking about whether this was a success or not, and a lot of people think it's been a success, just bringing more eyes and attention to the golf world. But as of right now, Jupiter Links Golf Club and Boston Common would not make the playoffs, as they are below as the 5th and 6th seeds in the rankings. The Bay Golf Club is 4-0, Los Angeles Golf Club 3-0-1, Atlanta Drive is 3-1, and the New York Golf Club is 1-2-1. That 1 is an overtime loss because the point system is much like hockey, where you get, I believe it's 3 points for a win, obviously no points for a loss, and I believe you get 1 point for an overtime loss. Yeah, that would make sense because 3 times 3. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Yeah, 7. Yep. Yeah. So it's just like hockey. So, but we'll go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about some local high school scores over the last several days, trying to get everybody caught back up and previewing some of the games coming up tonight. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
What's your favorite hobby to do with the arts and crafts? Pokemon
really
Go
like
doesn't
resin.
count.
Really like resin. If you've ever heard of that.
It's like a caveman Rick type of a hobby.
It's
easy.
It's like
that resin's live though.
It's
scraping the ball.
I like
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bendian's Best Moves is a local moving company in Panama City, providing reliable services to the families and businesses in our community. Coveted for the long list of services they provide, experts at what they do, and they do it all from start to finish. The pros at Bendian's Best Moves have moved doctors, attorneys, pastors, schools, small businesses, the federal government, and they can move you too. For the best moving experience, it's Bendian's Best Moves. Call now, 850-583-0814.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $41.99 a month. Cut the cord, not the fun. To get Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click the Lucid TV logo.
What does it take to live an uncommon life? Here's former Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy with today's uncommon moment.
When I was a teenager, my parents let me stay out pretty late playing basketball with my friends. But that didn't happen right away. I had to earn the privilege by demonstrating that I could be trusted. They watched me closely at first, but over time, as I demonstrated that I could be trusted, they gradually increased my freedom. They understood that character begins with the little things in life. So many small things make up your character, your words, your thoughts, your actions, which help form how you instinctively respond to every situation. Don't let the small things slip. Start each day by looking for ways to show your character.
New York Times best-selling author Tony Dungy. More at CoachDungy.com. That's CoachDungy.com.
From the fairway to the rough.
I was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes before this rain starts.
From the greens to the bunker.
Certainly, Your Eminency.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The good Lord would never disrupt the best game of my life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, we're your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. 2 more games coming up this season to see if they can hold on the rest of the season with just 2 losses. 2 tough games nonetheless. 2 top 25 teams they'll be facing off. 2 great games as well. It'll start tomorrow night after the afternoon underdogs coverage starts at 7:30. Tip-off at 8 p.m. That is Auburn at Texas A&M, and currently Texas A&M is ranked 22nd in the country on the new AP poll that just dropped. And then, of course, the big one, the second game in the 2-game series. Auburn was able to steal the first one on the road against Alabama, but they'll be hosting the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coverage starts at 12:30, tip-off at 1 p.m. Again, that's right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Depending on how that Texas A&M game goes, and depending on how Alabama's game midweek goes, that game could be for a potential solo SEC regular season title. Obviously, we have the tournament coming up as well once the regular season's over, and we'll clinch another SEC tournament champion, and that tournament champion gets an automatic bid as well. But I think Auburn and Alabama both looking like number 1 seeds heading into the tournament as well. But your AP poll just dropped. Auburn still unanimous first place with getting all 61 first place votes with a record of 27-2. Duke hasn't changed as well at 26-3, ranked number 2. Houston moved up a spot with their win at 25-4 to number 3. Tennessee also moved up a spot from number 5 to number 4 with their win over Alabama. They're now 24-5. Florida dropped a couple spots to 25 as they're 25-4. They dropped that midweek game to Georgia. I don't know if that was, or maybe that was a couple weekends ago. It's all blending together for me right now, but they've dropped 2 spots to number 5. They were at number 3.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. There you go. St. John's moved up a spot to number 6. Alabama swapped that spot with St. John's as they dropped to number 7. Michigan State stays at number 8. Texas Tech moved up a spot to number 9. Iowa State drops a spot after losing, I believe, to Texas Tech. They've dropped a spot to number 10. And then the rest of your top 25 is Clemson, Wisconsin, Maryland, Louisville, Missouri, Memphis, Michigan, Purdue, Kentucky, Marquette, St. Mary's, Texas A&M, BYU, Arizona, and Mississippi State. So again, a week from this Sunday will be Selection Sunday, and we'll find out if we'll have a record number of teams from a single conference in the NCAA tournament. And as David said earlier in the show, that was the Big East with 11 back in 2011. So can we make it more than 11 in 2025? Time will tell, and we shall find out.
I think they're going to get it. I think they at least get 12.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's, the resumes speak for themselves. Obviously, playing teams in your conference speak for themselves when it comes to all that. So who does Alabama have this week? Ooh.
They got Florida and then Auburn.
Yeah, Florida at home, Auburn on the road. So, Auburn could drop that Texas A&M game. And then Alabama beats Florida. That could make that Alabama-Auburn game a game if Auburn or Alabama to win would be a share of the SEC regular season title, and they'd have to do another coin flip to find out who would be the number 1 seed in the conference championship. So funny that some of these things come down to a coin flip. Very very unique, nonetheless.
Normally, it's a little later on down the line as far as options go. Yeah. It's not like your third option. Like, all right, we've exhausted enough options here. Let's just go ahead and flip old George Washington. Well, they had a special coin, I believe, a special coin for that one.
Yep, no doubt. All right, I'm going to bounce all the way back to Wednesday, February 26th, just because that was the last day we were on the air and we weren't able to report any of the local scores at that point. But Arnold varsity softball, I believe this was a run rule game in the third inning, beat Mariana 15-0 to improve to 3-0 on the season at that time. And then on Thursday, February 27th, lots of action. Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be the hot days for high school, middle school, whatever it may be. In varsity softball, Bluntstown beat Bozeman 16-15. A lot of action in that game. North Bay Haven, who Banji has as the number 1 softball team with his power rankings, improved to 6-0 with a 15-0 run roll over Alpha. Bozeman, in a big matchup at the time, had beat Arnold at home. Bozeman was at home 4-2 in that matchup. Mosley had to hosted Niceville and lost that one 7-4. And then Gulf Breeze beat South Walton 4-3. Again, that was back on February 27th. That was last Thursday. Last Friday, we had several matchups as well. You had Arnold hosting Bay in baseball. They won that one 7-4. Bozeman hosted Freeport in baseball. They won that one 10-0. South Walton hosted Mosley and won that one 7-3. That was another big matchup, kind of a cross-county rival there. And then Arnold in softball beat Choctawhatchee 10-0. And then moving to today, we got some matchups coming up tonight. Baseball, we've got Arnold hosting Cottondale. Arnold 6-2 on the season. Cottondale 3-4. And then Jay, although he's not here, the high school Jay will be traveling to South Walton to take their 4-1 squad on the road to face off against a very good 6-1 South Walton team. So we'll update you on those scores tomorrow. Obviously, a ton of games coming up tomorrow. You got Arnold going to Holmes County in baseball, North Bay Haven going to Walton in softball. North Bay Haven 6-0. Mosley traveling to Bozeman in baseball. Walton traveling to Bay in baseball. Bozeman traveling to Arnold in softball. And Gulf Breeze traveling to South Walton in varsity baseball. And that will update you guys tomorrow again and keep you updated on scores as the, I don't know what the other sports are going. Obviously, beach volleyball going on.
Track and field, I believe. Yep. I think you still got some weightlifting going on.
Cross country was in the fall, right? I don't know about that one. I did know that.
I didn't know that was different.
I think it is. Don't quote me.
Track and field is like where you have all the different games. Cross country is where you're
just running in an open field area, whatever it may be. Golf course, they can really. Prior to Hurricane Michael, we were supposed to host a county cross country meet out there on the Old Meadows course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, would have been cool. Obviously, it never came to fruition with the hurricane coming in, but yeah, that was a cool thing that I thought would have been fun to.
Wait, they were scheduling this before the hurricane hit?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be, because the hurricane hit in October, it was supposed to be, I want to say it was a little bit later that fall, and we had it scheduled. Yeah, because
they were going to run on the golf course?
Yeah, because the Meadows was never as busy as the Nicholas, so we could basically divert all play to one golf course and allow them to run out there, which would have been kind of cool. Because golf courses are kind of perfect for cross country.
Yeah,
because that's kind of, especially around here because they're just not very hilly. So it would have worked out good. But I know. There was a really good Arnold runner that's at Florida now. I was talking to Jacob Fish about him. He was actually showing me at basketball practice the other day. He had a really good indoor track and field meet not too long ago at, I believe it was at Mississippi State or Texas A&M, one of the maroon colored teams. But that made me think of that when I said cross country. So,
did you ever do cross country or track and field?
Nope. Never did those. Just golf and ice hockey.
Yeah,
it's all I stuck to. Looking back, maybe track and field would have been something to do but I think it was the same season as golf, so.
Yeah. Got to pick one or the other.
That's it. A lot of conflicts, and, that's kind of how it goes.
Well, Aaliyah Willett, I believe, she was the Rutherford State champion, I believe, in weightlifting, and that wasn't even her first choice for sports. She didn't make the team that she wanted to go to, so everyone was like, well, you should try out for weightlifting, and she did, and lo and behold, state champ. First state champion from Rutherford.
Wow. So. Kudos to her. Yeah, we got some really good weightlifters, especially on the girls' side around here. Got some strong programs, no doubt about that. You been paying attention to the Braves at all in the preseason?
I've watched a few games. They're actually one of the hardest to find for me for some reason. On Lucid Streams TV, I'm able to watch just about every team. Yeah. And then when I'm looking for the Braves, it's a little more difficult to find. Sean Murphy went down today, so he's going to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's troublesome. We got rid of d'Arnaud. They were a nice tandem. Now we don't really have that tandem. The next guy's like Chadwick Tromp, essentially. So I think they're going to need to maybe get a better backup catcher.
Okay, there you go. Well, I mean, and yeah, just released d'Arnaud. What do you think about the Deebo Samuel trade?
5th round pick. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
And he's going to fit in well over there. The Commanders kind of feel like a do-it-all team. Like everyone on the team, essentially, Jaden Daniels can do it all. Zach Ertz is getting up there in age, right? But you got Terry McLaurin who can kind of do it all as well. So he's going to fit in well for that wide receiving core over there.
I just hope he, because I like the Commanders. I want to see him I hope he can stay healthy and, be good for their culture and all that stuff. But, yeah, 5th round pick was definitely a little tough to swallow. But if you look at some of the other recent wide receiver trades in the offseason, nobody's getting
That's kind of like the going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the value has declined a little bit, which I guess because there's so many of them. But and the other thing is Deebo hasn't been playing. He's not Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson by any stretch of the imagination, injured. Then he also had the, issue with management last year. So how long is it before you start having issues here? Just because, you think it's going to be fun to play with Jaden Daniels, and it probably is going to be fun to play with Jaden Daniels. How long are you going to stay content here in Washington?
Yeah, and what style of football are you going to play? Because you are not a down-the-field wide receiver threat.
Right.
You could be a slot guy, catch the ball quick and run, but because teams figured out the whole Deebo running the football, the bubble screens, all that stuff, and they figured that out pretty quick, and it pretty much neutralized that strength. But, Washington obviously can utilize him a little differently and however they want. Obviously, certainly a threat getting the ball in his hands nonetheless.
I think another thing that kind of neutralized that threat is the injuries to Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy's injuries as well, and then Brandon Ayuk. For them to be the utmost dangerous, those two guys got to be on the field at the same time. And Juwan Jennings has got to be playing some good wide receiver as well.
Yep, no doubt. He's still on contract for one more year, which is good. The nice thing, too, the Commanders picked up the rest of his money owed this year as well, so the Niners won't have any type of cap hit when it comes to Deebo now being gone. But
so how long till Purdy time? When's he getting his bag?
I know they're talking about it right now, and from what I understand, they're both kind of Purdy and his agent and Lynch and the Niners are on the understanding that we're not trying to do a max deal here or anything like that. They understand the Brady, the Mahomes route of things where you got to pay your guy, but also you don't have to make him the highest paid guy in the league, so you can still have a little more wiggle room. Obviously, the Niners got plenty of cap space, especially now with the cap space being increased to give them a little more wiggle room. They got 11 picks in the draft this year, which is a lot more than they've had in recent years. So hopefully they can get some good offensive linemen. I know they're targeting that Kevin Banks guy from Texas, if he's still available by the time they get to pick number 11.
Going to need like 2 or 3 more running backs, too, because the way that they've been going down for y'all for the last, I guess Christian McCaffrey had good health, great health in 2020, 3?
Yeah.
4? I don't even.
The year they went to the Super Bowl, so 23. Yep, the 23-24 season, But, obviously, if they can get Elijah Mitchell back, Garendo obviously showed signs of things. Jordan Mason, they've got tons of running backs. It's just they keep all getting injured. But
so they need to have like a stall of 8 to 10 running backs.
Yeah, I just fear that Christian McCaffrey is like, if he can't get back to the health he needs to perform at the level he wants to, he's going to be like, you know what, I'm done, and that would be a bummer, that's for sure. But hey, that's what Lynch and the rest of the front office organization has to deal with for the San Francisco 49ers. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Inside Drive today. Tomorrow we'll have Doc A coming up at 11:20 like we always do. Hopefully Jay will be back as well. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Afternoon Underdogs, 4 p.m., and you'll have RJ Starchevich to go around the track at 4:20. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media.